You may know that I'm hosting a conference in Dallas this fall. It's on September 26th, and it is called American Women and American Freedom. And if you're interested in coming, you can email me at americacanwetalk@gmail.com. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, I already emailed you and you haven't replied, I do have quite a few emails I'm waiting to reply to. I just haven't gotten to it. I'll do it tomorrow. But the conference is in Dallas on September 26th. Have about 300 guests, a stellar lineup of speakers to talk about the idea that women need to value freedom, that women are blessed by freedom, that freedom is the best and right answer for women. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, why is it just women? And there will be men there. There are a few men speakers. There will definitely be men in the audience. But I want to tell you why I'm focusing on women. I'll just give you one good example from where we are now in America. I call this one Feminexit Now. And by the way, it's obviously I'm taking off on the great idea that Candace Owens has, and she has Blexit, which is Black and Latina exit from the Democrat Party. And then there's another one related to Jewish voters in America. I think there are two of them, but the one I know of is Jexodus, which is Jewish exit from big government from the Democrat Party. I want to talk more and more between now and Election Day, and maybe for the rest of my life, about the idea that women should value freedom and therefore women should be moving away, exiting from the Democrat Party. But where we are today in America, let me just give you a couple of statistics. Actually, won't, but by way of background. So women in this country tended to vote for conservative ideas, the basic pro-America, Republican ideas, tended to vote for those in majority numbers. Women voted majority Republican all the way up until 1980. And that changed when Ronald Reagan came along. And one reason people say, that people dive in and study, why would women do this? Why did women switch the Democrat Party? Ronald Reagan made them a little bit nervous with respect to his foreign policy. There were women who thought he sounded a little bit aggressive, a little bit like he was going to be perhaps too militarily aggressive. And so they shied away from that and went with the Democrat Party. Well, since that time, since 1980, I don't think there's been any national election in which women voters in America went majority with the Republican Party. There are, of course, elections where more women went Republican than in the past, but really the Democrat Party tries to claim that it owns the women's vote and has claimed this for decades. And they therefore make the claim that women vote for the Democrat Party because the Democrats' policies are better, that the policies somehow are more appealing to women. I want to make the argument, not just today, but as I say, many times between now and Election Day, that the policies of the American left are antithetical to the way what most women think. The policies of the American left hurt the things American women value the most. But where we are statistically, wrapping up the first five, I'll just tell you a few things about where we are statistically. Number one, there was a poll recently showing, and this was in the last few weeks, that Biden, who is not even, mentally collected, he's sadly suffering from some form of dementia, that he is polling to win nationwide 55% of the women's vote. 40% of women backing Trump, and I don't know who's the other 5%, heaven knows. But anyway, point is, Biden apparently has, across the board, women across the country nationally, Biden's got 55% of the vote. We also had a poll, more recently, more information in it, that Joe Biden is leading the ticket, Joe Biden leading percentage-wise over what Trump has with women by 23 points. And even worse, there is a poll about white women, and in fact, a majority of white women in America backed President Trump, not women overall, but white women in America voted for Trump in 2016, and they are starting to abandon the president too. One of the reasons given for this shift, where some women who even liked Trump last time and now aren't, is the fact that there is concern in the American economy because of what happened under COVID. The shutdown under COVID People lost their jobs, women become fearful, and then they're thinking, maybe I should be voting for that big government guy over there, because after all, he's going to make sure that we have adequate health care, we have benefits coming, because if we're really, really suffering with having lost jobs, at least we have a big government Democrat in there in Washington. He'll be handing out money like a drunken sailor. This is sadly what is one of the things motivating women. They want more financial security coming from the federal government, because COVID hurt the economy. COVID probably hurt their family. It may have hurt their families. They may have lost their business, their job, their husband lost his job. So support for Trump among white women is eroding, and in large part is contributed, it's argued to be because of the shutdown from COVID. There's also an astonishing characteristic. Women supposedly, as they watch increasing violence in the streets and the danger in the American streets, some of them are concluding, well, I don't like this, and it's happening under Trump, must be Trump's fault. Okay, I know the left is going to try to blame all this on Trump, but you have to understand the violence in America's streets, the violence in our streets is directly the result of the radical leftism in this country that has overtaken the Democrat Party, overtaken academia, has emboldened these young people into thinking that somehow they live in the most evil, awful, racist, terrible country since time began, and they have no other way out, nothing to do except protest. Get out there, burn down buildings, do whatever it takes. The left must be forced politically to own these riots. The left owns them. Their policies have caused them. The left-wing ideology in academia, from college down to kindergarten, they have taught hatred of America. They've instilled just ignorance in American youth, thinking that somehow socialism is the answer and capitalism must be overthrown and America is a deeply racist country. The leftism that has infected our academia is being played out in the streets of America. The left owns that. And the idea that you have, I know the media and even Biden keep trying to think of reasons that somehow all this is Trump's fault. All of this is orchestrated, manipulated violence owned by the left. But I'll wrap up the first 5 by saying this. All sorts of reasons, and there'll be more and more polling as we get close to the elections, why women say they're more likely to vote for Biden than Trump. But I want to say, folks, I want to run through a few ideas today. And I'm going to continue to run through ideas on this show, this feminexit idea. This idea of women need to exit their support for the radical left in this country, exit their support of the Democrat Party, because they've got to figure out that the policies that make them safe, that make opportunity, that make abundance, that make peace, that make security, all those policies are the policies of the Republican Party and this president. If you're thinking that Biden's going to make America more prosperous, more safe, more strong, any of those things, you've been drinking the Kool-Aid of the American left, and you got to put down your glass. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid, because we're in dangerous times in this country, and I frankly don't like the idea that women may be the one to put Biden over the finish line when so many other segments of American society are waking up. The parallel between feminexit and Blexit, I want to make that point, and then I'm really going to wrap up the first 5. But that is this. When you hear Candace Owens and other speakers on behalf of Blexit, again, Blexit, Black and Latina exit from the Democrat Party, they talk about, ask yourself, what is it? This is Candace Owens speaking to her fellow Black Americans. What is it the Democrat Party has actually done for you? What have they done that made your life better? They promise you to make your life better. They excoriate Republicans and America and conservatism and blame those entities, Republicans and conservatives, for everything wrong. What has the Democrat Party ever done? They have inflicted policy after policy that has destroyed the Black family, destroyed education, destroyed Black communities, destroyed the strength of our country. They've destroyed everything good that we all want. This message of Candace Owens to Black Americans is my message to the American women. Stop and ask yourself, what exactly is it that the Democrat Party has done or is promising to do that you think will actually make your life better? And that, my very fine friends, is today's First 5.